Ever wonder how certain people just feel so cool even when they're doing nothing? It's not money, fashion, or confidence. It's taste. Real taste, the kind that you build yourself. But most people today don't actually build taste, they copy it. Stop copying, start curating. This video will solve that. Now to start, it all boils down to one contrast. Boom. Normal people chase the crowd. Cool people chase curiosity. You see, this is the formula. Fake taste, scrolling, then copying, then performing.
Double kill.
Real taste is noticing, choosing, and then editing. And you know, there's a secret ingredient here. I'll talk about that later in the vid. But the thing is, the root of all coolness comes not from what you wear, but how awake you are to your own interests.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I know it sounds kind of gimmicky. It sounds kind of like, oh, metagamey. But let me explain. For example, this is the world we live in. Reels, TikTok.
We don't do Nike Tech. We don't do coffee. There's straight quarter zips and matchas around here.
Underground rap artists, Pinterest boards, everything is made specifically to be seen by others. It's all a performance. Everyone's saying, look at me, look how niche and cool I am, you know, look how underground I am, bro. I was on it first. But the problem here is people don't actually like these things. They like that everyone else likes them.
They like the attention.
It's turned having taste into kind of like a social game. It's kind of become a status symbol. It's like, oh, you don't know this underground artist? Oh, you just found out about Fake Mink? Oh, you just found, or you know, whoever the next underground rap mob spawner artist is. Like, it's like a test to see how many niche cool boxes you could check off. Like, and that's turned having taste into a status game when it should be for self-discovery. But if taste has become so muddled, what does actual authentic taste look like? Well, think about spaces that still feel authentic. For example, let's take your uncle's house. Oh, shit. Crazy, not the creepy one, the cool one. You pull up, he's got like some old magazines from when he was a kid scattered around, some old vintage Pokemon cards in the back of his closet, you know, maybe even some random lunch boxes from the 70s. You know, you don't see this type of shit on Instagram or Pinterest. That's why when you pull up, it feels real, it feels authentic. It's because you can tell it's not a performance. No one's seeing this. No one's, but like, he didn't buy this stuff for aesthetic points. He collected them because they spoke to him. It spoke to his soul. It was some real shit that reminded him of his childhood, or maybe like it reminded him, you know, he got it on a trip when he was young or something.
Y'all remember how it felt going to the Scholastic Book Fair? Think of that feeling.
And that's the thing. In fashion, you know, we collect clothes, grails and shit. Like in other hobbies, they do the same thing. People collect vinyl, sports cards. But there's really people out there that collect random like vintage lunch boxes, old cereal boxes. Like, that's beautiful, bro. If you think about it, it's not some performative thing for status or for girls or anything. It's strictly love for the game right there. Because who do you know is doing this? That's strictly because they genuinely like it, not a performance. And that right there strictly comes from curiosity, because boom, real taste comes from curiosity, not the crowd. Because you see, fake taste says people I think that are cool like this, so now I have to automatically like it. But the difference with real taste is real taste asks, do I actually want to learn more about this? Do I actually like this? Would I listen to this in my car alone? Would I watch this in my free time if I was just by myself in my bed chilling? Because that's personal right there. There's no one else that affects your opinion. It's like the saying, don't listen to what people say, but watch what they do. Because I can tell that the indie goth girl, oh yeah, my favorite band is Deftones, or I love the Cocteau Twins, and oh my gosh, Mazzy Star and the Cranberries, and you know. But like, if my Spotify rap says Drake, that's the math's not mathing right there. That's a different story. It's like, that's why I'm saying, when you are awake of your actual genuine interests, that's where taste spawns in from. So here's an exercise to get crystal clear on what your guys' taste is right now. Boom. Make a circle map and add things from your YouTube recommended, Spotify wrapped, Pinterest feed, movies that you've rewatched. You know, go through your camera roll if you have favorite fits that you always see yourself repeating, take those things that you're naturally curious about and naturally find yourself consuming and add them to that circle map. It's literally like holding a mirror to yourself to see what you spend your time thinking about. Like not just what you think you should like because of the algorithm or reels or whatever, you know. That right there is the noticing part of the circle map. Then the next step in the formula is choose. Ask yourself, do I want to consume this? Do I want to add it into my circle? Do I want to experiment with it further? Now, if the answer is yes, you can proceed into the editing stage. You're seeing how you feel. You keep exposing yourself to it, keeping more of what you like and disposing more of what you don't like. And the thing is, people who come off as effortlessly cool, effortlessly confident, they do this subconsciously. Obviously, they're not like, no one's actually doing the circle map thing, but it's a good thing to do. It'll open your eyes. That's why I'm saying, like, even though it's not like, bruh, is bro really telling me to do a circle map right now? Yes, bro. Yes. Make that circle map. If you want that crystal clear mirror of like, dang, this is really who I am. Because oftentimes, you know, we're going through the day, we're going through the week so fast, you don't really stop to, I guess, analyze yourself, to know thyself, get comfortable with thyself, like really figure out who you are. This is literally how, bruh. This is how you know and get more comfortable with yourself. And look, if you like how I break down swag, art, creative advice, all that good stuff, you'll love, boom, my free guild newsletter. I send out these legendary loot scrolls that got majestic music, cool art stuff, and me yapping with a little bit of wisdom on the side. Also, shameless plug, my brand, Fortune 3 Mending One, is officially having a new item shop drop on Black Friday. Let's get it. Here are some of the pieces.
Double points.
Be advised, hostile swarm inbound.
Follow the brand Fortune 3 Mending One on Instagram for more information if you're interested. The links to everything will be in the description. Now back to taste curation. Let me show you what this actually looks like in real life. Let's take someone like, boom, Kanye West. I know, he's a controversial guy, but no matter what you say, you can't argue that he hasn't done revolutionary things in fashion and music. And I think it's safe to say that he has his own unique taste, regardless of if that taste is good or bad. He has a personal style. So starting with Notice, it's been known that one of his favorite movies is Akira. It's like a popular cyberpunk anime movie. We can assume that for whatever reason, you know, he was naturally curious, naturally drawn, attracted to Akira. So he chose Akira, then edit. How did he edit Akira into his personal style, into his taste? Well, boom, the pink polo era, the all red fit. Bro literally made his music video stronger, had the exact same flow. Like, you can clearly see the inspiration from Akira. That's what happens when curiosity leads your style. It affects your vibe, your personality, literally the way that you carry yourself, which is exactly why knowing your taste, knowing what you like, makes you more interesting. Because if you actually know what you like, you notice things that others don't. You can take it as yourself, take that inspiration, turn it into your own thing. That literally what he did with Akira. You start noticing the small things, like how a character in a movie dresses, how a small trinket spices up your outfit. Interesting, cool people notice vibes. People who don't have taste just notice aesthetics. And again, the key comes from when you know yourself. That way you can align your life to what you like. For example, Margiela Futures are super hype right now. They're all over Instagram, all over Reels. I see that people like them, but I know that I don't. So it's like, I'm not going to go out of my way to buy them just because they're trendy, just because the aesthetic, just for cool points. And what does this mean? If you take one thing from this video, this is what I want you to take. This means, boom, I'm more focused on how my life feels to me than how it looks to other people. You feel so confident when you focus on how your life feels to you, because you're not faking your taste, you're not performing. And bruh, think about it. When you're not performing, you're more confident, you're more comfortable. And what are humans attracted to? Confidence. That right there, boom. That's what I'm saying. It all comes from that one spawn point, knowing yourself, knowing what you like. That way you don't get trapped in the algorithm traps of, oh, this shoe is hyped right now, or, oh, this trend is going on right now. Bro, it all spawns in from knowing what you like, the formula. You know what? I'm gonna say it again because it's so important. The more that you know yourself, the more confident that you feel, which makes you cooler, more interesting, and more attractive. It's literally like the flowchart, cause and effect. That is how you develop taste. But let's talk about why most people will never develop taste. Boom. Solitude. Solitude. You see, everyone wants to be unique, but no one wants to be alone. And when you think about it, the definition of being unique is being the only one, being one of a kind, which literally means you are alone. To be unique, if you want to be unique, you got to be alone. It's in the definition type shit. And being alone is so important because space, silence, and solitude will help you notice and choose, going back to the formula, will help you notice and choose. That way you can develop your taste, expand your taste, but be okay with just sitting in silence. Because with social media now, the second that we don't find stimulation in our brains, we can just scroll past everything. If we don't like a song, we can skip. If we don't like a reel, we can swipe. And that kills taste. That kills your attention span because it doesn't let you sit, process, and notice things. So what ends up happening is that we let whatever influencer or guru that's on the other side of the screen tell us how to feel about those things. And I know slowing down, sitting in silence and solitude is hard. Like, don't get me wrong, I be doom scrolling every day, but I'm actively trying to do little things to slowly get my attention span back. Like when I'm in line at the grocery store, not have headphones in. When I'm on the train, not have headphones in or not scroll on my phone. Or literally watch an entire movie without looking at my phone, without picking up my phone, which is sad to say, Brett. It's sad to say that I can't do that sometimes, but like, at least I'm aware of it. At least I'm aware of it. Most people aren't even aware of it. And then they let reels and the news and things like politics, all of that type of stuff, dictate their entire life. That's how you get stuck in the cycle of overstimulation. And then you're not going to actually have your own thoughts. You're not going to actually have your own feelings and opinions about stuff. Bro, you're going to be stuck in that NPC performative taste trap forever. So back to the formula. What does solitude actually look like? Well, here's the solution. Find two things. Boom. Something to silence the noise so that you can actually notice. Don't scroll on the train. Go on a walk without music or listening to a podcast. Watch a full movie without checking your phone. Simple things like that. Second thing, do something to process your own thoughts. This way you can choose and edit. Journal. Yap on FaceTime to a friend. Exercise, bro. Literally look up exercises, things to do to process my thoughts on Google. Like, it sounds corny. It sounds like, dang, you really got to do that. But when you can lay out your thoughts, it's so meditative. It's so good for you. It's so reflective too. It's like, dang, and that's how you know yourself. And that goes back to the flowchart, the cause and effect. I know it might sound kind of gimmicky, corny, but in my opinion, at least, this is really how you develop real taste. So low-key now, the formula is notice plus silence, then choose, then edit. And look, one thing I want to mention is you're probably not going to have it all figured out. You're probably never going to have it all figured out. So rather than focusing on building the perfect aesthetic that gets the coolest Instagram feed or gets the coolest Pinterest feed, just focus on being you a little more every day. Focus on figuring out yourself. Focus on what you like, what you don't like. Chase what excites you, what scares you, what makes you curious, and don't be afraid to be alone. And remember, progress isn't linear. Bro, there's really artists that grind for 10 years, even 20 years before they ever blow up, before they ever become famous or, make up a whole bunch of money. But progress isn't linear. Everyone goes at their own pace. There's so many people that don't make it or don't achieve their dreams until they're 50. So that's what I'm saying. If you're young, you should be fucking around and finding out. You should be experimenting, exploring, developing that taste, learning more about yourself, building yourself, creating yourself. One more time, focus more on how your life feels to you than how it looks to others. Put your style, your health, your finances, your creativity, put all those things first for you. And when you do that, that is how you naturally will develop cool taste. So join the free guild newsletter and follow my brand, Fortune 3 Mending One, for more Black Friday updates. And if you want to watch my video on how to dress to make more friends, click the video here.